Hey, good day, everybody. Welcome back to our Genesis class, live from Jerusalem with Rabbi Chaim Goldberg. He's just having a little bit of computer glitch, so we're just waiting. Oh, he's back, so that's good. So let's just jump right in and say hello to the Rabbi. Well, shalom, Rabbi. How you doing there?
Hi, good evening. Everything is fine. Thank you. Hope everything is fine with everybody else.
Good.
We
Okay,
are
I'm
in
going
the
to
middle.
turn the class over to you, sir.
Not a problem. Thank you. We are in the middle of the preparation for the Rosh Hashanah, as you all know. And let's learn something for tonight. I hope everybody is fine. Everybody is good. On Rosh Hashanah, by the way, Collins, can you hear us? On Rosh Hashanah, we read the a chapter in the Bible of Hannah that she prayed in Shiloh, and the first chapter of Samuel. We are reading it, um, and I had a very good preparation for this event. We went last Thursday. The couple Collins with me. We went to the Shiloh area, and it was very nice. So I just want you to be jealous a bit. That's it. I love you.
That was very nice.
Fair enough. Okay, let's jump inside. Let's start to learn. I have a question to James. I think that James, everybody can answer, but I think that James, the first one that will say to me, okay, I understand what's happening here. If someone will come and will say to us that he's going to speak with the heaven and the earth, where are we going to put him? In what place?
In the middle.
We'll put him in the middle. I think we'll
Yes.
take him. I think we will take him to a special hospital. No? Someone is coming and saying to us, look, I'm going to speak with heaven and earth, and I'm going to do it very seriously. He's going to, something there is not 100%. I agree with you that we need to put him in the middle to stand on the earth. Maybe he needs to stand on a mountain, something very high. But let's be honest. Let's look for a moment on the Bible. We share the screen and to the Bible, open the Bible for a moment. Let's go to the end of Deuteronomy. And look what's happening here, okay? Please, Don, you can read the verse number 2.
Verse 2 of Deuteronomy chapter 31 says, He said to them, Today I am 120 years old. I can no longer go or come, and the Lord said to me, You shall not cross this Jordan.
Okay, so we know it's very sad. Moses is going to die, even though we could have thought that he's an alien, but he's not. He's a human being, all of those things. And let's go to verse number 25 of this chapter, in chapter 31 in Deuteronomy. Okay, let's go to verse number 25, and let's read it for a moment. No, not 25, sorry. 28, sorry, please.
28. Assemble to me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, and I will speak these words into their ears, and I will call upon the heaven and the earth as witnesses against them.
It's because he was 128 years old in this day. What is happening to Moses? Moses is speaking with heaven and the earth. What is happening to him? What is in his mind? What exactly he wants to achieve when he's speaking with heaven and the earth? They're going to answer him. They're going to do anything. Now, don't think that it's because he's 120 years old. If I will go to the, let's go, when 32, let's go to 31, okay? Before he was 120 years old, okay? Day or two before, a few days before. Let's go to number 3. It's number 30, just a moment. Please read number 19.
Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19. This day I call upon heaven and the earth as witnesses that I have warned you. I have set before you life and death, the blessing and the curse. You shall choose life so that you and your offspring will live.
The first one is very interesting. You should choose life. We know that people who are very spiritual prefer to die. No, we need to be, even though we are very spiritual, we need to stay alive. It's very important to live in the right way here in this world, not to try to die. Fair enough. It's also very important that we have freedom of choice. This is, I will say, the moral standing of God to help us to decide if we're getting blessings or curse, because it's our decision. We have fully decision to decide in which path we are going, and according to that, if we will put on ourselves blessings or curse. Fair enough. But what exactly is the meaning of speaking with heaven and earth? So if I would have started from this verse, he will say to me, no, it's not really that he's speaking with heaven and earth. It's only he taking them as witnesses. I think that this is also a bit insane. What is the meaning of this? That he's taking them as witnesses. The heaven and earth can witness something. What exactly is the story here? Okay, it's not, by the way, it's not a. Let's go 2 chapters ahead. Okay, let's go to 32 and we'll see how it starts. 32:1. Oops, sorry. All the thing that you need to do is to read the first verse. Okay, please.
Chapter 32, verse 1. Listen, O heavens, and I will speak, and let the earth hear the words of my mouth.
He is speaking with heaven and earth. Moses is doing it, a bit not clear enough. Okay, what's happening here? He is speaking with heaven and earth. I started with the beginning. Okay, maybe he's standing somewhere in the middle between the heaven and earth, as James said before. But it's a bit insane. What exactly he's trying to achieve? I'm going back to something that we mentioned more than once. Okay, we didn't got only this Bible. We also got an oral Bible. I will say it like that. Well, let me go one step forward, backwards, and then we'll continue. We will progress. We are living today in a different era. In the era that we're living today, we don't have the prophecy for almost 26 centuries. In the days of the prophecies, when a prophet said something, the people among him understood him, especially the Hebrew nation in the era of Moses that were together with the Mount Sinai, and they spoke with God. Usually, we don't really have any connection with the world to come. The only gate that we are coming from the world to come, or that we are going to the world to come, is or the birth or the death, God forbid. Okay? Only those are the gates of going from another dimension. There's only once in all of the history that we know that it was open, this gate. Okay?
I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked, but I desire that he turn from his way and live.
Dan, you can also close them. Just a moment. Just a moment. Okay. The only time that we know that there was a bit of connection between heaven and earth is in the time of the 10 Commandments, where God spoke with the Hebrew nation. Except for that, we don't really have any connection with this other dimension. In the era of the prophecy we had. So it's a bit hard to understand that and to realize what is written down here and what is the relation to us, or what can we learn from this. This is where we need to start to get the ideas from our sages, those who preserved the dimension of the prophecy. So let's try to do that a bit with Rashi. Rashi is the most known commentator on the Bible. And it is true that he have few levels of understanding, but we are trying only to knowledge the first level. So let's start here and let's see what Rashi is writing down here. Okay, when Moses is doing it, when he's speaking with heaven and earth. Please, Dan. Now we're going to read. We're speaking here about. Let's see. There are two versions here. Fine. Here they're giving it as one version. It's fine. Please read it.
Okay, Rashi says, "Listen, O heavens, that I am warning Israel, and you shall be witnesses in this matter, for I have already told Israel that you will be my witnesses, and so is the clause, and let the earth hear, to be similarly understood." Now, why did Moses call upon heaven and earth to be witnesses for warning Israel? Moses said, "I am just flesh and blood. Tomorrow I will die." If Israel says, "We never accepted the covenant," who will come and refute them? Therefore, he called upon heaven and earth as witnesses for Israel, witness that endure forever. Furthermore, if Israel, act meritoriously, the witnesses will come and reward them. The vine will give its fruit, the earth will yield its produce, and the heaven will give their due, from Zechariah 8:12. And if Israel acts sinfully, the hand of the witnesses will be upon them first to inflict punishment upon them, and he will close off heaven, that there will be no rain, and the soil will not give its produce, from Deuteronomy 11:17. And then the verse continues, "And you will perish quickly through the attack of the nations," from Sifrei 32:1.
So what we have here, basically, if you're trying to realize, okay, so there are two. He's giving here two things. This is a very big question here. Is it the second thing, therefore, or this is only explaining the first one? Okay, we can read it in two options. Let's go for example. Never mind now. Okay, if it's two explanations or one. The most important is that we have here, I will say, two main thoughts that could be combined to one of them. First of all, Moses is using. God didn't invent only the religion. Okay, God invented all this world, and He is the Lord, He is the God, He is the Almighty of everything. Therefore, Moses is saying something very simple. Moses is saying, me, Moses, as someone who is going to die today, this is what we saw in the verses before, in chapter 31, as I'm going to die today, I won't be able to stand aside to tell, oh, you passing the vow, you're not behaving in the right way. Who is going to stay here, to stick here all the time that you are in this world? Heaven and earth. We have a saying. My father-in-law, he passed away 2 years ago, but he was a very interesting man, and I really learned from him a lot. One of the things that he said all the time, that the people who are putting the wet clothing, okay, that they will get dry under the sun, it's the same sun in Israel, in Poland, in the United States, in Canada. We are all under the same sun, okay? So the sun is always here, even if you think that something so bad happened, God forbidden, tomorrow the sun will rise again. I think, if I remember correctly, with the wind. No, there's a movie, a very famous movie that it passed with the wind. I don't remember exactly the name of the movie in English. And at the end of the movie, even though the girl is very frustrated from that her lover is going away, she's saying, but tomorrow is a new day. Okay? So Moses is saying, look, I'm taking witnesses that will stay here. But Moses is saying something even more than that. Those witnesses have also responsibility to behave and to act according to your behavior, Israel. And here we're moving one stage ahead. What is one stage ahead? Today, in the way that we are living today, that we went out from the nature world and we built up cities and we're sitting in a structure that we organized for ourselves, okay? Most of the people don't really, not even calling themselves in their name, they're calling themselves in their positions. And we built up a structure of how we live. We are very far from nature. And for us to think that our behavior is influencing the nature to behave in this way or in that way, it's very far for us to think like that. Moses, in his days, not only thought like that, it was a reality. Today, with all of the passing of the history, with all of the history that we know, it worked like that. It worked like that, that in the days that we, the Hebrew nation, didn't behave in the right way, we were thrown out from this country. And today that God brought us back to our homeland, this is what we saw last week. I went to the Collins family, you can ask them. We saw all the winery, and we saw all those places that suddenly came back. The Arabs, when they conquered this land 800 years ago with the Mamlukim, and then with the Turkish Empire, one of the first things that they did 800 years ago, they took out all the winery, because for them it's forbidden. They took out all the winery from all of those hills here in the area. Now, we planted all of them back, and we're even getting good prizes. So the behavior of nature is related to the behavior of the men. Something that it's a bit above the normal, I will say, logic that we have in this world. So now we starting to hear why Moses is speaking with heaven and earth. Reason number one that we said, they're going to be the witnesses, even though he is dying. And secondly, they're going to behave. They're taking an action, a role of how to behave in front of Israel with their
hold them
behavior.
accountable.
Fair enough. Let's go to another explanation. Much more, I will say, profound, that is giving us a lot of responsibility. Okay? I think that already here we have a lot of responsibility, because on the second explanation here, basically it says that our behavior is giving the world blessing or not blessing. Okay? So our behavior is very important. But I want to go to another explanation. And this explanation, it's in chapter number 30. Let's go back to chapter number 30. Rashi is explaining here. Let's show the Rashi. And let's see Rashi here for what we said here, okay, that Moses is going to speak to take the heaven and earth as witnesses. And let's see what we need to see this Rashi, please.
Okay, this day I call upon the heaven and the earth as witnesses, for the heaven and earth exist forever, and when the evil befalls you, they will be witnesses that I had warned you regarding all of this. Another explanation of I call upon the heaven and the earth as witnesses. The Holy One, blessed be he, said to Israel, look at the heavens which I created to serve you. Have they ever changed their ways? Has the sphere of the sun ever failed to rise from the east to illuminate the entire world? As it is stated, the sun rises and the sun sets, from Ecclesiastes 1:5. Look at the earth which I created to serve you. Has it ever changed its ways? Have you ever sown in it that it did not grow? Or have you ever sown wheat and it yielded barley? Now they, heaven and earth, were created with neither reward nor loss in mind, for if they are meritorious by fulfilling their purpose for which I created them, they nevertheless do not receive reward for this, and if they sin, they are not punished. And yet, even with this lack of incentive, they have never changed their ways. So you, who will receive reward if you are meritorious, and who will be punished if you sin, how much more so should you fulfill my will?
Now we're going to much more profound reason why Moses took the heaven and earth. He's taking them, I will say, as something that we can start to learn from the nature. Nature, I explained this a bit earlier today. There is a very big, I will say, debate between the philosophers if there could be any miracles. Okay, the old philosophers like Plato and Aristotle and others are saying there can't be any miracles. We have on the other side the New England philosophers like Hume and Berkeley who are saying, no, everything is miracle-y. It is a miracle, okay? And there's nothing here that you can say that it's nature. The Hebrew nation is saying that there is something in, I will say, in the middle. The first 6 days of the creation, God did a lot of miracles. It was step by step. It wasn't a day like we have today because there were no men there, but it was stages, 6 stages of a day, each one of them. We call this as a day, but those stages were with a lot of miracles. In the 7th day, God is fixing the laws of nature, and he is not appearing in front of us. Now, so we have both sides inside this, I will say, the world. There is a possibility of miracles like the 6 days, and there is usually the possibility in this world of the laws of nature. And we saw in Egypt, for example, a time of miracles. We saw other miracles along history, fair enough. But here, what Moses is telling us, he's telling us, look, God fixed the world, and he organized things without any free choice, not like you, the human, okay? Don't forget this verse is speaking about the free choice. I set before your life and death, the blessings and the curse, and you choose, you shall choose, okay? This is a verse here. So the verse that is saying that you have the possibility to choose, you have a full freedom of choosing what you want to choose. This is where Moses is saying, I want to speak with heaven and earth because you can learn from it. That those who are not getting punishment if they are not, moving aside for a moment from what God told them to do, and they're not getting any reward from doing those things, even though they're not changing anything. So that you have a free choice, learn from them how to behave, that you need to behave in the right way. And this is why Moses is speaking with heaven and earth. So if we thought in the beginning that he's speaking with them because he's teaching us something new, that the world is functioning also according to the behavior of the human being here in this world, now we are learning also that we can learn from them how to behave in the right way. We can imitate them. We can understand in a profound way what is the right way to behave. Now, it's not explaining here what is the right way to behave. Okay, don't get me wrong. In this Rashi, in this verse, it's not saying what exactly is the right way to behave. It's not 100% right, because when he's saying choose life, so he's saying you need to prefer the right side. What is the right side? Doing good. Okay. In a moment we will try to explain this a bit, but the idea that we can learn from nature, that we can learn from those who are not getting any punishment, any reward, how to behave. This is, I think, something that is giving us much more responsibility, especially if we're taking this with what we've learned before, that our behavior is influencing how they're going to behave with us. Because we, the human being, we can destroy everything here, and we can organize everything here. Depends on us. Today, it's much easier for me to say that, okay? Let's take, for example, the atomic bomb. We have the possibility today in our world to destroy the world. Why do you think it's such an issue, okay? The Saudi Arabia will have an atomic bomb, they won't have an atomic bomb. We have a problem with Iran, okay, that they want to have an atomic bomb. Why do you think everybody is speaking about those things? All the countries are dealing with those things. It's not only a question of money, who is going to get money from this or not. It's also a question of, after we saw what's happening in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we understood the meaning of destroying the world, and we have the possibility to destroy the world. So today it's much easier for me to say, no, our behavior can destroy the world. But it's not only in the way that we can see that, also in the way that it's I will say, it's hiding. It's not such an explore thing. Still, we are influencing how they're going to behave, the world, the nature, against us, against the Hebrew nation, and against everybody, not only the Hebrew nation. We are giving the blessing, we are giving the cursing. So we need to learn how to behave. hope that things are until now are fine. If there are any questions until now, this is the time. If not, we'll continue on a bit more. I hope everything is clear. You're looking at me like shocked. I'm not saying anything, you know. Yes, Collins, you want to ask something? It's okay. Okay, so let's go.
I'm going to confirm that really the place you took us to at Shiloh spoke volumes, and we saw practically the kind of pots they used it to offer sacrifices in time of old, and we also saw the press where they used to do the oil, the purified oil for lighting the temples and all those artifacts that can give evidence of what's happening in Shiloh in time of old. That is what I'll just add that you can carry on.
Yeah, you're more than right. We saw in Shiloh a lot of interesting things and a lot of evidence for this site. Okay, unfortunately, there are places that we saw from very far, but we saw the evidence. You're right. And we spoke also about this thing of moral behavior. Thank you. Okay, is there any questions? If not, I want to go one step ahead just to point you, to address you to something that the Maimonides is giving us. The Maimonides, I want to say like that. The Maimonides is a big blessing for us, because what he did, he took all of the oral Bible and he organized it in one book of 1,000 chapters. But everything is there. You will find there everything. So we have two main books. One book is for those who are for the wanderers, okay, those who don't understand or have wondering regarding the belief in God. The Book of the Wanderers. This is one book, a very hard one, a very important one, very profound one, very nice. And you also have what we call the Mishneh Torah, 1,000 chapters that is concluding all the oral Bible in one place. This is also a very profound book, and you need to learn it. You can read it, you know, in I don't know, 2 months, every day for 1 hour or 2 hours, you will manage to read it. But except for reading it, to understand it, especially that you need to read it in Hebrew and to understand what's happening there, because there's a lot of what to learn from there. But one of the things that he is giving what we call Ilchot Deot. What is Ilchot Deot? He is summarizing in a few chapters what is the right way, how to behave in a moral way. I'm not speaking here about halachically, you know, you need to pray in the morning at this and this time, you need to do this and it. On Shabbat, you need to do this and not to do that. I'm not speaking about those things, okay? We're speaking about how to behave morally. It's summarizing or everything. I want to show you for a moment part of this, and I'm urging you, okay, to go and to learn it. Now, why? It's few chapters. It's not so long, and it's very easy to read. It's giving also a lot of I will say righteous behavior. Okay, how to behave. So let me go for a moment, just a moment. See, this is called the Mishneh Torah. I will send you a link in a moment. Okay, and we're looking for Chodeot. Mishneh Torah. Thank you. So after the introduction in the Sefer Sefer Ahava, it's the love book. Okay, and oh, there it is. Sorry. It's in the first one. Okay, in the Sefer Hamada. Okay, Chodeot. And now you have only 7 chapters. 7 chapters. And he's explaining how to behave one with each other, how to behave with yourself. We said it more than once. We have triangle, okay? Part of the triangle is the relation between me and God. Part of the triangle is the relation between me and my friends, okay? And part of the triangle is me with myself. This is it. It's summarizing a lot of things. We're going to show for a moment, okay? If it's okay, Dan, that we'll read the first one, okay? Only the first one we will read. Then the rest is homework for yourself. In a moment, I will explain why.
Okay.
Please, Dan, read the first one.
1. Each and every man possesses many character traits. Each trait is very different and distant from the others. One type of man is wrathful. He is constantly angry. In contrast, there is the calm individual who is never moved to anger, or if at all, he will be slightly angry, perhaps once during a period of several years. There is the prideful man and the one who is exceptionally humble. There is the man ruled by his appetites. He will never be satisfied from pursuing his desires. And conversely, the very pure of heart, who does not desire even the little that the body needs. There is the greedy man who cannot be satisfied with all the money in the world. As Ecclesiastes 5:9 states, a lover of money never has his fill of money. In contrast, there is a man who puts a check on himself. He is satisfied with even a little, which is not enough for his needs, and he does not bother to pursue and attain what he lacks. Rabbi, this is reminding me of that homework you gave us last week to read the third essay of the Kuzari. He really went into descriptions of the pious man for sure. There is the miser who torments himself with hunger, gathering his possessions close to himself. Whenever he spends a penny of his own, he does so with great pain. Conversely, there is the spendthrift who consciously wastes his entire fortune. All other traits follow the same pattern of contrast. For example, the overly elated and the depressed, the stingy and the free-handed, the cruel and the soft-hearted, the coward and the rash, and the like.
We need to read also the second one, please. Okay. Please, let's read the second one.
All right. Between each trait and the contrasting trait at the other extreme, there are intermediate points, each distant from the other. With regard to all the traits, a man has some from the beginning of his conception in accordance with his bodily nature. Some are appropriate to a person's nature and will therefore be acquired more easily than other traits. Some traits he does not have from birth. He may have learned them from others or turned to them on his own. This may have come as a result of his own thoughts or because he heard that this was a proper trait for him, which he ought to attain. Therefore, he accustomed himself to it until it became part of himself.
And the Maimonides is continuing on and telling us exactly what is the best way to behave as a righteous. Okay? That if you're taking the extreme side of each one of them, it's not good. But if you go to the middle side, it's fine, except for one thing that we need to be humble. But except for that, everything we need to be in the middle. It's not good to spread all your money. It's not good to only keep it to yourself. Okay? You need to be in the right way, in the middle, where you using the money for yourself, but you also know how to give it to others. He's giving here examples and everything. I'm urging you to read. And this is very related to what the Kuzari that I asked you to read last week. When the Kuzari, the king, is asking, I don't know if you read it, all of you, but I will say it by heart now. When the Kuzari is asking, who is the righteous man? The answer that the Rabbi is giving is about someone who is controlling the country, who is the leader of the country, who is the master of the country, the prince. And he's asking him, but I ask you to speak with me about, the person, and you're speaking about the prince and the one who is in charge of the country. And he's answering him, it's the same thing, because all of us, each one and one of us, okay, we are controlling the country. The country is us. And we have a lot of ideas inside. We have a lot of things. We need to learn how to work with ourselves and with a specific, special thing that we are in this world. And it's supposed to be according to what God asked us to do. The beginning of this thing of God is by giving space to us for living. And the same thing, we need to learn how to give space to others and how to live among others. But it starts with ourselves. It's not starting with others. It's starting with inside, just like the Kuzari. The most amazing thing, first of all, since we're not going to have lessons in the next coming 3 weeks, unfortunately, okay? Next week is Rosh Hashanah, the week after that is Yom Kippur, and the week after that is Sukkot. So I'm giving you something that you can read, and then we will be able to discuss it, in another 4 weeks that we're going to meet one with each other. It's few chapters, very simple, very nice to read them, and very mind-opening, fair enough. But I want to say or to address something that we saw in the Kuzari. And it's very, I will say, surprising. Because if you will ask normal people, okay, what is the relation that we need to have with our spouse, with God, everybody will say, or the normal people will say, there is side of the fear and there is side of the love. There is side of getting connected and there is a side, let me send you just put it, I want to close it. The side of the fear, the side of the love, the side that we are, all of us. Now you have on the chat the link, okay? Usually what we have the part that we want to get together and the part that we want to have the differentiation. This is more or less the relation that we have with everything. It's also related with the sympathetic and parasympathetic that is inside us, okay? It's also in a physical way, but it's not only the physical way, it's also the emotional way. But the Kuzari there is saying that there's another thing. When you know how to adjust those two things in the middle way, in the right way, you're coming to a stage of happiness and fulfillment and feeling, we call this simcha, right? Joy. If you know how to be in the middle between this side of the fear and the side of the love, you will become also with a lot of joy inside yourself. And we have three things. And by the way, those three things are exactly the three main, I will say, holidays that we're going to have now. Okay? The holiday of Yom Kippurim, the second one, okay, is the fear. We're getting judged in front of God. We need to do repentance. The holiday of Rosh Hashanah, the one that we're going to celebrate next week, on this coming Shabbat and Sunday, okay, is with a lot of a lot of love with God. We're accepting Him to become our King. And the last one, Sukkot, is the day of the joy, Simcha, the latter, that we're feeling very good. It's related also to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as in this way. Okay, Abraham was the love person, and he loved everybody in this world. Even he didn't even give God the opportunity to do a judgment to the people in Sodom and Gomorrah that were very bad people. Okay, he loved them. God at the end did, because we have no choice. Fair enough. But Abraham is the love person. Isaac is the very fear, the judgment person. This is Yom Kippurim. And Jacob is the joy. He is living with much more completeness way, also with a very big family, a lot of joy. Okay, these are reasons, more reasons why we're doing it. I'm not going inside to this too much now. But I want to say, and this is also what we're learning inside the Maimonides. So if I will summarize for a moment things that we saw today, it's going like that. On one side, we saw something weird. Every year before Rosh Hashanah, we're reading those parshot, those chapters of the Bible, where Moses is speaking with heaven and earth. And this is a bit insane. With all of the respect, I have a lot of respect to Moses. When you're thinking about this, when you're just reading the Bible, you're saying to yourself, it's because he's 120 years already. Something there is not 100% at the beginning. But when you're starting to understand what our sages are saying, and you're starting to realize that we have influence on the behavior of nature, and we can learn from the behavior of nature, and we can come to the right stage. We can learn from what's happening here around. So we're starting to realize that Moses wasn't insane. He worked on the level of the prophecy. Okay? And now when you ask yourself, but what exactly is the right way, how to behave? So go to the Maimonides and learn it. Read it. Okay? Just read it. Then you have questions, send me emails. Okay? I will try to answer from time to time the emails. In another 4 weeks, we're going to meet one with each other again. And we can discuss those things. Also, in the Kuzari, what I sent you last week is also related. And this is teaching us, okay, the right behavior of a daily way. Before we're starting to speak about those who want to do more rituals that are giving you or connecting you to God. The truth is that the Noahide, I will say the Noahide movement or the Noahide in the world, there are not any, I will say, active actions that you need to do. Don't steal, don't kill, and we're doing those things. Those are things that you don't need to do in a positive way. So we have the Shulchan Aruch, okay, the book that we spreading around, and we're saying you can learn from here what exactly to do in the right way. Fair enough. But I'm asking you, do you need to do in actions? No, you don't need to do in actions. But the behavior, the right behavior, with yourself, with your family, with others, learn from the Maimonides and do them. It's very, after all, you carrying on your shoulders a very important role today, each one of you, okay? I don't know how much you're saying that you're Noahide. Maybe you're not saying to everybody. But people are looking, if those who are saying that you're Noahide, people are looking at you, saying to themselves, how exactly is he behaving? Is he behaving in a normal way? He's insane? What exactly is his behavior? How do we want to get related with something like that? And especially before Rosh Hashanah, okay? That Rosh Hashanah, what is the meaning of Rosh Hashanah? What is happening in Rosh Hashanah? We're accepting God to become our God, we're saying, okay, He is our God. This is what we're doing when we're blowing the shofar. This is what we're doing in Rosh Hashanah. And it says the dream that the Hebrew people have in Rosh Hashanah for the last 4,000 years is that everybody in the world will acknowledge God and will accept Him to become the God of everybody. Okay? So all of you here sitting in this room, you're doing it. You're part of us. You're part of this thing. And people are looking at you and saying to themselves, do we want to be part of this? Yes or no? Depends how you're behaving. So go and learn, and in a normal way. Things that are hard for you, we are here for discussing things and things like that. So this is the main message I wanted to say before Rosh Hashanah. But I'm urging you not to speak with heaven and earth, on the street. People will think you're insane. Be careful. They will take you to the hospital, ask James, those hospitals that people will go there. Don't speak with heaven and earth like that. Rabbi Shmuel is here with us. Please, Rabbi Shmuel, you want to say something?
Well, first of all, I'd like to all wish you a happy new year as it's forthcoming and most welcomed period of the year. But I would like to suggest also something which I hope Rabbi will agree with. We have here two levels. We have the relationship with God, and we also have our interrelationship with other people. God has a natural attitude of pardoning and receiving us even when we do things which we have a good reason to regret. If we show our commitment to make a change, He is very sympathetic with our request and our desire, And he tries to help us get to that achievement, which is tremendous. In other words, very well receiving our intention. I don't think that that's what we feel in our experience in interpersonal relationships. I think with people, people are far less tolerant and far less willing to forgive for things that were done that they feel had insulted them, has caused them pain, damage, sometimes to their name, sometimes financially. People have a much less of a tendency to be receptive. That's the impression I have. And one of the very important messages towards the new year is that despite the fact that it's not easy to get other people to really pardon you for things that you have done wrong, don't give up the effort to do so. However, if you feel, this is my suggestion, I don't know if the Rabbi Goldberg agrees with me, but I hope so. If you feel that the other side is not overly receptive to when you appeal sincerely to them to forgive you, then I think to approach God to help you get closer to that person would probably be the correct attitude. It doesn't make much sense to urge somebody 3 or 4 times to forgive you if you feel that they're not responding, because it could have counterproductive ramifications as well. It doesn't stay still. People get irritated that you sort of approach them again and again. You have to be wise in that intention to pardon for your behavior. Sometimes you will have to understand that they have taken it much more serious than you assume. You don't think you did something which is such a calamity, but other people feel differently. We have to respect other people's feelings and try to find a way that we can improve our communication skills. Another word of advice related to this, I'm talking things which are very important to me, I assure you, is that if you feel that other people are not easily pardoning, then don't push it too much with them, but learn for the next year or the next coming years how to act in a way that it will be avoided. As the fire department always say, the best way to blow out a fire is to avoid it happening. Meaning, if you already know that you insulted some people, and most of you people are righteous people, but even if you had insulted some people, try to think, if they're not willing to receive you, what can you do in the future when you encounter these people to be more positive? Not to remind them of what you did incorrectly. That's not going to work now, but try either with them, and especially with other people, to be far more receptive and thoughtful and considerate. What would they be happy to hear from you? How shall you respond to their feelings? In one of the readings that we have in the synagogue on Rosh Hashanah itself, and there's a woman there, Hannah, in the beginning of Samuel, was a woman that was barren. And initially the prophet thought that she was intoxicated when she was praying. And she says to him, sir, you are mistaken. I was not intoxicated. I actually pouring out my heart in tears for me being a barren woman, and I'm hoping that things will change. He not only had reconciled with her, he prayed for her well-being and that she would be successful in having children as she wanted, and she did. And it's a very sensitive touch. You have a woman who went through a lot of pain. You have a prophet who was a highly respected religious individual. And despite the fact he can make a mistake, and not only can he make a mistake, he has enough guts not only to reconcile with her, but to make a major effort that it'll be better for her. So sometimes if we insulted somebody and we feel that it's not going to work, trying to pardon them, we can still pray that these people will be more successful and that in their hearts they will eventually reconcile with you. And if you can't, you just carry on and, as I say, try to do better things. And that's a message I would like to bring forward, that we should never underestimate, when talking about relations with other people, what we may have done incorrectly. And it's a great opportunity to try to improve and to reconcile with as many people and behavior of our own. So that's, in my opinion, a very good opening for the new year. And I believe that it's a universal concept, not only related to Judaism, but very central in our faith. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I agree with you, with everything that you said.
Yeah,
Also,
always good to hear from you, Rabbi Hirschler, for sure. Yes, thank you.
It's not an easy task, I assure. This reconciliation is one of the more difficult acts in religious behavior, because it's not easy to approach people that you have insulted them. It's not easy to reconcile, and especially with adults.
and it's
Much
not easy to
less-
say to yourself, to yourself or to others, I need to do, I was mistaken. I'm sorry, whatever it is. It's really hard.
God is so much more easily pardoning than the human race. That's the
For
experience.
sure,
that
for
I-
sure. Rabbi, I just finished reading that Sefer Hokarim book, book of principles.
Ikarim, yes.
Karim.
Yeah, and I really loved how he ended the work. Towards the end, he was talking about the hope of people and how hope functions. And there's three branches of hope that he discussed. Generally, people have hope for mercy, is a big thing, and then there's a different degree of hope, hope for his name's sake, and what jumped out to me was the hope of purpose that he described. And I find if you have that hope for purpose in life, you'll find what Rabbi Goldberg shared today, the way the heaven and earth deals with people from nature. I find that if you have that hope of purpose, you're almost under that umbrella in the sense that your blessings and cursings are right before you almost, and you recognize them for what they are. All I can say is that it was quite profound book. And then, Rabbi, I jumped into another book after that. Don't know if I should be reading it. It's called The Third Bet HaMikdash, by Rabbi Lippmann Heller from Prague in around 1600. Written, and his introduction really discussed the purpose of the temple involved with heaven and earth and the presence of the Shekinah, and it really had merit with what you were describing today.
Fair enough. Send me the link. Let me see exactly what the book is, and I will tell. Okay,
No,
it's
he's
not.
he's a great scholar. You're
כן,
talking.
לא קלטתי מי השם שהוא אמר.
Tosfot Yom Tov.
In Prague. Yes. He was a student of the Maharal in Prague. He was a really one of the biggest that we had. But if it's okay, send me the link and I will see exactly what we're speaking about. Yes, one of the things that, look, we have 3 stages. Okay, one of the things that happened in the last 20 years is, first of all, we started to get connected one with each other through the internet, what we're doing now. Okay. Secondly, we had put in everything on the internet, everything that was written down. In 1984 already, everything that was written down till then was printed wherever in the world, was already on the internet. And now what we did, we gave everybody with the iPhone or with the computer, that they can readjust all the information that we're using. And now we're doing what we call the Chat GPT-4, we're starting to give the computer to start to think instead of us. But all of those things, okay, but all of this will never replace face-to-face human being speaking and connection. It will never replace it.
Well, my purpose for reading this is I'm still contemplating on how to resolve this issue that you just mentioned. to get B'nai Noach interacting and developing communities. And I thought, okay, I can build a virtual game where people can download and actually go into a setting and do it. And then I thought you could develop that all the way up to having huge stadiums in virtual reality. But you know, with the Bet HaMikdash being maybe an end result of that. So it just was pondering notions. Is it worth spending the time and energy and resources to build such? If it worked and people would actually go inside a virtual reality room, yeah, you know, it just solves the problem of location and distance and resources for a building, and you know, to have a legitimate meeting place. I've got the resources up on my tabs right now, you know, ready to just, you know, download and, you know, plug in. And with AI, you could have people come from across the world virtually and have a AI translator. And so if something said goes to text in a box and a person reads it and it translated into their language, I mean, there's the potential is so out there right now to take things to another level, but it takes a lot of time and energy to make something like that happen. It's on the back burner. I've had it on my mind for a long time to try to it's a question of, you know, so many people are afraid of change or trying something new, but it's exciting. And yeah, we're going to miss you guys over the next few weeks. I mean, if it's we're not going to be back for another 4 weeks. I think if anybody's got any classes for Rabbi Goldberg or Rabbi Hirschler, now is a good time to put them out there, because, yeah, we're not going to be, looks like, back until the 7th of October because of the high holidays. And we wish you and all Israel a wonderful, wonderful time this new year. Has anybody got any comments or questions for the Rabbi?
This is the time. This is the time. Now.
Many blessings to Israel and everyone there. Totally. I was there for 3 times. I was there, and it was very good. I just wanted to. Oh, good. Okay. And next year, we're thinking next year in Jerusalem. I have some.
We'll be more than glad to organize something like that here.
That's great. So yeah, I just need to say that behavior creates action. When I was before in Christianity, I had action too, but my behavior was different because of what I was taught. So now that I know truth of this matter, of who God is, I changed my behavior. So now my behavior is different than before. It is one God. So my behavior is now a different action. And with that is, we are now, I live in West Bank, BC, and I do things here now. I connect with the people here in West Bank. That's my community where I live. So this way we can, you know, do things together. Every community has their stuff that's happening in the community. So let's connect. So that's what we're doing. As women, we get together. Anyways, have a good one.
Yes, thank you very much for it. I know that you're also doing this. I've heard from Tiferet and from Sarah. Both of them told me about this group. Also, Dan told me. Dan also said to me something. Very nice, very good, very impressive, very encouraging. Also, the idea that Dan, you mentioned, is it could be very good with people that will get more and more connected with each other. And it won't be able ever to replace a physical connection. This is something that you need to know. We will never be able to move from this. It's a will-to-will connection, and it's not only wisdom, you know, with all of the respect that we have to the intelligence that we managing to provide, it is all machine. It's not a human. It's not the will. And this is where the uniqueness, especially of the Hebrew people, and the things that we've learned tonight, is also that the will that we are putting inside is tonight, and also 2 weeks ago that we spoke, the will that we're putting inside to the actions that we are doing, that is never getting disconnected from our behavior, is what doing the change in this world. So let me bless also all of you for a very good and nice year ahead, not only this coming 3 weeks. And hope to see you soon face to face.
I have a question, Rabbi.
Yes, please.
Is there an online program to become an Orthodox Jew?
It can be.
My synagogue is 29 miles away from me.
I don't know any. I don't know any online course like that. I know that there are courses that are teaching, okay, all sorts of things, but to get connected with the Hebrew nation, you need also to have a physical meeting with the rabbi. This is also one of the reasons why we are not. We don't think that people supposed to do conversion to Judaism. Not everybody have the possibility, and not everybody. It's also crossing the lines. To do conversion is to move from your family and everything, just like Abraham, and to stay or to be a Noahide, you're in the same pleasant and connection with God, and you don't need to move out from your family. It's a big issue. We can speak about it. But a full course that will be, if you find something like that, so you can feel comfortable, it's the reforms, and it's not becoming part of the Hebrew nation. Okay? Lizette, good to see you.
Thank you, Rabbi. Yes, I want to thank you all for all your teachings today. It's been great, all the words that you have said, and I thank you for that. And I wish you also to have a very good year. Shana Tova to both of you and to everyone here. I wish you all the best, and that God can give us a lot of understanding so that we can do what we have to do, because we got to take matters in our hands now for our nation so that we can develop them and have them understand a lot of things. This is the way I see it. And here in Dominican Republic, people need to be conscious of our laws and what do they mean, and where are we moving? What are we doing? How are we building our future? So I wish you all the best.
Amen. For everybody. Thank you very much. Okay. And Paul, good to see you also. Long time no see. Speaking on the phone, but good to see. Wow. Thank you very much, everybody. Dan, thank you very much.
It sounds like we're not having a class until October 7th, folks. So the rabbis and all those in Israel have to respect the high holidays. They got fasts and feasts and lots of prayer, and we wish them well and many blessings for the new year. And it's always a joy to have you on with us, Rabbi Hirschler. To you and your family as well, all the best, and thank you for all the beautiful Torah you share here with us. And Rabbi Goldberg, know you're always in our prayers, and it's a blessing. So I think if nobody else has got any final remarks or questions, we're going to sign out for today, and we will be back on October 7th, folks. So that's a long time. So that's 4 more weeks. So October 7th is what we're aiming for next. So until then,
October 8th, John. October 8th.
8th. Oh, forgive me, October 8th. I'm using a Jewish calendar that actually ends at the end of this month. There's no. It's a combo calendar that we got from Kelowna Rabbi there. it ends, and there's no more next month. It's not on the same year, but it lists
Go
all
on
the
the
Jewish holidays.
Google, and Google you can ask for Jewish.
Yeah, I can
calendar
down one.
to
I
visit
just keep
also.
this one handy for reference purposes. If I ever have to share, it's always right here. Anyways, so October 8th, we will be back, not October 7th, my mistake. So till then, everybody have a Shabbat Shalom, and Rosh Hashanah is coming. So make sure you're prepared as B'nai Noach for sure.
I'll send you. Bye.